All right, I'm going to talk to coaches.
Ask Charlie, Ricky,
Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Test, test, test. Check, 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 check. Test, test, test. You guys can hear me? Up and down. Yep. Thank you. Okay, that's parfait. Amen. That's French, just in case you weren't sure. Okay, and I'm just going to check on my headset, okay, that I can hear. So hang on, everybody. Check, check, check. So my headphones come to here now. All right, so what am I going to do for that? That's already split out. Okay, that's good to go.
Should I grab it? Should I grab a coach? And we can just start?
Are you going to talk about there or here?
I'm gonna go out there.
Okay, because that mic's working.
I'm ready to go. Is it working?
Yeah, so all you have to do is
Grab it.
Test. Test, 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 test. We'll just ask you a couple of simple ones. All right, we are live. We've got a bit of a delay with the game, waiting for a few technical things to be sorted out. So we're gonna go to the interim head coach for the day. Coach, how did you guys approach this undefeated Sun Youth team?
I think it first came down to game film, making sure that we got as much information from the other team as possible, analyzing that and figuring out how we can attack and gain points on these guys.
What are going to be some of the keys to get the victory here today?
I think it's going to be strength on strength, making sure we have bodies covered, making sure we take advantage of their cover three, and making sure that we run the ball hard like we usually do.
Now, if you guys get the victory here, what kind of momentum do you think you will build going into the playoffs?
I think it's going to be a huge momentum for the guys. We've been telling them from the jump that we think that they're honestly the best team in the league, and I think by coming out with a victory today, we'll prove that to the league, and we'll add a bit more confidence to ourselves.
You've heard it. That's the word from the North Gloucester Giants. We're going to have kickoff coming up shortly.
Simon, everybody.
Oh, it's. My God, it's Jen. What?
I'm good. All right, welcome to the big midget game here this Sunday afternoon. It was supposed to be a 1 o'clock kickoff, but we've had some delays with the sticks. The sticks are not here at the field, but we're waiting to see. I think they're about 5 or 6 minutes away, so we're gonna hold on, and we will be coming back to you very shortly. All right, and welcome back. I'm Jesse Card with HESN Live, and we are just about ready for the Midget Big Ten conference matchup between the North Gloucester Giants and the Sun Youth Hornets. So just a little bit of background information. The game was delayed. It is being delayed because the sticks are not here. So that should those sticks should be here very shortly. We'll get the kickoff away from you. I'm going to be doing a solo broadcast here, doing my best with the French pronunciation of some of the names on Sun Youth Hornets. But we're going to have some fun. This should prove to be a great matchup between two very good teams. If we'll take you field side, we'll take you to a few of the players out there. And we'll take you field side here. And we're just going to go over some of the scenarios. We're going to look at what these teams have done. So if we look at the North Gloucester Giants to start, we have a 3-2 record for the Giants. Of course, they opened their season about a week later than everybody else, and they had a devastating 2019 loss over the Cougars out in Quebec. Then they went and they lost against the still undefeated Canada West Ottawa Knights midget team that have just almost finishing off their season. They had another win at TD Place they were playing last night against the Eagles, and they got a victory there. So they're going to be cruising to possibly an undefeated season. I believe they face Myers one more time. The Giants, on the other hand, got their first win against the Eagles, and that was a 49-0 blowout. They then won against the Myers Riders, although in a less convincing win, 27-12. And then, of course, a few weeks ago, we saw them probably play their best game against the Eagles at Bob Stevens Field, and that was a game that I think they were firing on all cylinders at that point. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of Giants team comes out here today. They've had time to prepare. By all accounts, the coaches said that participation and attendance at practices has been good. And, of course, their quarterback, Alex LaFleur, played lights out against the Eagles in their last matchup. On the other hand, the Sun Youth Hornets, since their defeat over the North Shore Mustangs, have taken over that number one ranked position on the HESN Power Rankings. They haven't moved from there with being undefeated 8-0. This possibly is the last chance that they can be handed a loss in their 2018 campaign as they play Greenfield Park next weekend in Quebec, and that is a last-placed team along with Myers in the conference. So, you know, without saying that, you know, every opponent should be taken seriously in this conference, I would say that you know, Sun Youth probably will win that game hands down. That would be the statistical understanding. Now, the Giants have the opportunity to hand them their first loss, and with that, they would be building some very good momentum into the playoffs. Now, a lot of people are asking how the playoff structure will work. The way that it's going to work is in the Big Ten Conference. We actually have two leagues. We have to remember that. They're not actually one league. It's a conference built of two leagues. So when the playoffs start, each league handles their own playoff structure separately. So the top 4 out of 5 Big Ten 5 teams in Ottawa will make the playoffs. The last place team dropping out. At this point, that would look like that would be the Myers Riders. So the Eagles at number 4 would play Canada to start, if all things continue the way that they are. On the other hand, we would have number 2 and number 3 playing each other, and the winner, of course, advancing to the Ottawa City Midget Championship. The winner of that, of course, would go on to the Interprovincial Bowl, which will be being hosted in Montreal this year. And on the other side, the way that it works is they have 2 divisions in the QMFL. They have the top division, which is made up of the top 5 teams, and then they have the second division. What would happen is the top team in the second division, which right now is the Orleans Raftsmen, they will actually bump up and knock the last place team in the first division down to the second division, if that's not too confusing to comprehend. So potentially the Orleans Raftsmen will be playing the Sun Youth Hornets in the first round of the playoffs. And that would be a very tough matchup for anyone for that matter, but for a team that has been acclimatized to potentially want to call it a second-tier division, although I've seen many of those games and very fantastic football happening at that QMFL midget conference. So they could potentially jump up. Of course, we would have the Cougars, the Warriors, and the North Shore Mustangs still in the hunt. But this Sun Youth Hornets team, led by their quarterback, Elo Regenbald, have been very difficult for anyone to even compete with in this Midget Big Ten Conference. So we've got the sticks. We are going to be starting with kickoff in minutes here. So we are just going to take a short break, and we are going to be back with the kickoff. Now, I ask, if you're watching this, you can do your part. I know NFL is going on right now, but if you have the phone out, if you have maybe a computer on the side watching on YouTube or Facebook, share the link. If you're on Facebook, go and tag somebody that you know in the Ottawa football community. Make sure that you share it on your own personal profile so that this is getting out there and that we're promoting these boys, both in the Quebec boys and our North Gloucester Giants, and we're promoting the game of football. I'm Jesse Card with HESN Live. After we get back, we're going to have your Big Ten Midget Conference matchup between the North Gloucester Giants and the Sun Youth Hornets. And welcome to NCAFA presenting the HESN Live Midget Big Ten Conference matchup between the North Gloucester Giants and the Sun Youth Hornets. If you're just joining us now, welcome. We're going to take you through this game, and HESN Live has the whole coverage for you. I'm Jesse Card, and I'm going to be taking a solo broadcast here. I'm going to do my best to keep chatting away. We've got kickoff coming up in moments, and a little bit, if we just go to the power rankings here of this conference, we're going to have a look at where everyone stands and where everyone fares. It's that great time of the year here where the playoffs are just around the corner and the air is getting crisp and cold. The Sun Youth Hornets, undefeated so far this season. They are a balanced football team. We got a chance to talk to the head coach, Dimitri, just before the start of this of this game, and he said that they're a very balanced team with a lot of playmakers, but sound fundamental players, and they've really benefited from that Sun Youth development model. A lot of players have moved up from the Bantam Football League in Montreal, and if you remember last year in the Interprovincial Bowl, the Canada Knights Bantam team lost to the Sun Youth Hornets, and a lot of those players are now here in the Midget Big Ten Conference. They have been undefeated, 8-0, and they're followed by the West Ottawa Knights, which are also undefeated. And they just beat the Nepean Eagles last night. They had a great game down at TD Place. But the Giants are hanging around at ranked number 5. They haven't really found their identity yet, but that although the last performance that they had against the Nepean Eagles at Bob Stephen Field was by far their best performance. So we're going to see what type of team is going to show up here today to take on this powerhouse Hornets squad. We've got our officials, Don Wilcox, the head referee today, and we've got a great HESN crew with a few new shooters, Ama and Banu, and of course our head producer, technical and creative, Steven, the producer Steve, handling the cockpit up here in the booth, and of course I'm Jesse Card, and HESN Live is here. We hope you've been enjoying the broadcast. I sure have been having fun. Tyler McLaren has been a host for many of the times. We had Matty Chartier join early on in the season. And as the playoffs start to roll around, our productions are going to get better. We are going to have some fun, and it's all culminating to the championship weekend, which will be the start, I think, the 3rd of November into the weekend of the 6th. And we are going to be down at Minto Sportsplex for the Ottawa City Championship, NCAFA Championships. That's going to be a great time. We're just waiting for referees to sort things out and get this game on its way. Of course, we are at Millennium Field out in Cumberland, the home of the Orleans Bengals, the Orleans Raftsmen, and the Cumberland Panthers. Some great football in the east end of Ottawa. And we've got a Montreal team that has been crushing their opponents, coming in here to face off against a very good, and I've been saying from the start of the year, the potential best team, in the Midget Conference. This is a team that I believe could win it all this year, but it's going to take a lot of good play from that quarterback, number 12, Alex Lafleur, and of course their running back, number 23. I've been very impressed with Eric Baptiste. He is a hard runner, north-south, no-nonsense running back. They're going to be relying on him as the cold weather starts to get a little bit more frigid. And, of course, playing out of Gillo Julian, that field can get sloppy, can get messy, and, in fact, it was responsible, I believe, for the Giants' early exit out of the playoffs last year against that Eagles team that went on to win it all, and a very low-scoring game against the heavily favored Bel Air Norsemen. Now, if we bring up the rankings again, those of us watching and interested in the midget football in the city, we have had the Carleton Ravens coaches and the Ottawa GG's coaches and some RSAQ, McGill, and Concordia talking about they haven't seen midget football this good in over a decade. And the Midget Big Ten Conference is really doing well here. We heard this Wednesday at halftime, we had the president of NCAFA, Steve Dean, come on and talk about the success. We just talked to the Hornets coaches before, and they're just over the moon with this interprovincial setup that has occurred. And it's interesting. I think over the next few years, we're going to see that same model go down to the Bantam and potentially the Pee Wee levels as well. Of course, big news in the last month is that Mosquitoes will join the Interprovincial Bowl Series, and they'll be matching up against the equivalent team in Montreal, along with the Pee Wees, Bantams, and the Midgets, culminating at the end of November in Montreal. But if we look at these power rankings, the Eagles really having a rough year. They started at number 1. They've dropped down to the 9th position, and Myers just just in front of them. Then we have, I think, a mid-pack, really, from North Shore all the way to the LaSalle Warriors, which are going to be very, very good playoff matchups. We're still waiting to see who the team out of the 5 in Ottawa that are going to drop out of the playoffs. And those will be some interesting games there in those quarterfinal matchups, semifinal matchups. But we are still waiting here. There still continues to be some more delays. We're going to take a short break. Thanks for hanging around, everybody. I'm Jesse Card with your broadcast today, solo in the booth. When we come back, we will have kickoff, hopefully, of the big Midget 10 conference today. And welcome back. I'm Jesse Card, your host for today's matchup. North Gloucester Giants, Sun Youth Hornets. Undefeated Sun Youth Hornets. We're going to see what type of Giants team shows up today to take these guys on. This is the last chance for a NCAFA team to hand the Sun Youth Hornets a loss. We hope, as being hometown boys, we're going to be a little favored in the call for the Giants, but we're going to do our best. I'm going solo on this broadcast, and we've got kickoff coming up here. I will check in on the chat occasionally because I'm handling replays and graphics scoreboard, and I'm doing the call. There might be some awkward moments there where I'm pronouncing names and looking for sheets, but stick with me, and we'll do our best here. And occasionally I will look at the comments, so please feel free to get on, share the link. We've got kickoff, Hornets kicking off. It's a big, deep kick. And over the head of the returner, he finally gets it, picks it up, and takes it to the closest to the stand side, makes a cut inside, shakes a tackle, reverses field, and is finally going to get wrapped up and brought down. And the Giants will go to offense first on the return for the Giants. That was number 3, Darius McKenzie, picking up the ball. And I think the flag down on the field, we'll see if that's an unnecessary roughness on the Hornets. This is going to be an intense game. Let's be honest. We know these two teams haven't played each other, but I can tell you, don't like each other. We've had a chance to have a chat with the head coach. Very, very great guy. This is a very good football team the Hornets have here. Great coaching staff. But the Giants, we will see if they're up to the test. They'll have the ball first. Alex Lafleur playing quarterback out of the shotgun. He's got his running back to his left. They're going to hand off. That's number 23 that finds some daylight in the middle and gets some hard-earned yards in the middle. So that'll be second down for the Giants. Eric Baptiste, the running back for the North Gloucester Giants. We talked about him before. We've also got some great receivers, and we talk about that well-balanced defense with some superstars on there. We're going to talk about them, but right now we've got 2nd and 1 for the Giants. Alex Lafleur out of the shotgun. Receiver coming across to find a lead block. They're going to have the first down and more. Baptiste rumbling his way close to the 40-yard line. Tackle made by number 15 of the Hornets. That's William Montpetit, the free safety for that Hornets defense. They've got some hard hitters. If you've watched any of the other games online, number 30 comes down hard downhill, and he can lay a smack. So Alex, quarterback for the Giants, signaling calls and audibles. He's in the gun again. Similar formation from the first two plays. He's going to hand off to Baptiste. Baptiste spins out of a tackle. He's got some room, but he's going to get about 2 yards on that carry, and it'll bring up 2nd and 8. For those of you joining us just now, I'm Jesse Card. This is HESN Live, special presentation of NCAFA football and the Big Ten Midget Conference. Sun Youth undefeated, 8-0, facing off against this North Gloucester Giants team. And here we go. Blitz coming from the Hornets. Baptiste with the carry. Rumbles for a few before he is brought down. That's number 47, Nathan Phileseme on the tackle. So far, a very chess match-like game. It's going to bring up 3rd down. Of course, we're playing 4-down football in the Midget Conference. They like the 4 downs. I like it too now with this new model. And Alex LaFleur, 3rd and 3. Baptiste to his left. Receiver in motion. It's going to be a little jet sweep flick to him. And he doesn't have much. I think he's short of the 1st down. And that'll bring up 4th down for the Giants. But a pretty good start, I would say, for the North Gloucester Giants to start off and get a 1st down, establish a bit of the running game, and a good hold for the Hornets. You notice Richard Graham, number 1, playing offense as well as defense. He's, of course, known for his all-star season in the OPFL a couple years ago. Giants will punt. They get a good one off. And it's caught on the run by number 10, who's jukes here and there and is finally taken down just past the 40-yard line. That's Mendel Joseph on the return. And we're going to see the Hornets offense come on the field for the first time. The guy that we want to key on is their quarterback, number 5. He is the guy. If they can get pressure on L.O. Regimbald, they might have a chance of really putting up some points against this very good Giants defense. This defense of the Giants can be very good. They have all-star players, but as you and I both know, sometimes that's not enough. They need to play as a team. And Regibald's going to go deep to their star receiver, and it's in and out of his hands. That was number 1, Abdallah Traore. He is their guy. There is no question. He is a player they are going to have to key on early and often in this game to keep this close. So here we go, 2nd and 10 for the Hornets. Out of the shotgun is Regibald. He's under pressure. He loses the ball. That's Richard Graham on the sack fumble. And what a start. What a message by the North Gloucester Giants. We just mentioned his name before. Richard Graham playing both ways. He's just a football player. That's as simple as it comes. He can play any position. He'll do what's necessary for the team. And a lot of university scouts looking and paying attention to this kid. So that'll bring up 3rd down now. They're way back. They did recover the ball. We'll show that highlight in a moment. Regimbald feels the pressure, escapes, and he's going to run it. He gets back close to the initial line of, well, no, not yet, to the initial line of scrimmage. But that's going to bring up 4th down now. But what a start by the Giants defense. We're going to make sure that we get a replay of that sack as soon as we can. But this is a great start to this game. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jesse Card. We've got HESN Live, Giants Hornets, 0-0 in the first quarter. And the Hornets back to punt. And a fumble. Looks like the Hornets might have it back. There's a couple flags on the field, though. We'll let the referees sort that out while I try to get a replay highlight going here for you guys. So they're sorting out who's going to have the ball. We're going to try to look at that replay of the sack as soon as we get a moment here. And here's the replay of that pressure. Not a great shot of that, but we're back to live action here on HESN Live. They are sorting things out on the field. 6:21 left in the first quarter. Holding on the offense is the call by head official Don Wilcox. Alex Lafleur, the pivot for the Giants. He's going to hand off to Baptiste. Baptiste looking for a hole up the middle. He's just going to grind and pound behind his O-line and get maybe 4 yards on that carry. That'll bring up 2nd and 5 for the Giants. If you're watching online, go ahead and share the link on Facebook so that other people will see it on the news feed and we can get more viewers for these boys playing in this game. Alex Lafleur out of the shotgun. Baptiste gets the handoff, and he's got some room on this run. He breaks it into the midfield. He is still going, finally brought down, but now he's deep into Hornets territory as he brings it up to the 36-yard line. No, well, there's a flag behind the O-line there. That might be offensive holding, but a great run nonetheless by Eric Baptiste. And that run game is going to be important for these guys to manage the clock and keep that Hornets offense off the field. If we just have a look at that play real quick while we go. He sprints off the end. And a great run. That could be off or not. So 2nd and a country mile for the Giants. Lafleur, play action, goes deep. He's got somebody just over the outstretched arms of his receiver. That's Matt Graval. And we're accustomed to Matt Graval's speed and catching ability. He was a long-time Gloucester South Raider. He won the A Cup with that Bantam Raiders team a number of years ago. Two, I believe, 2 or 3 years ago. I was actually coaching on the Warriors coaching staff at that time, and we had a great first half. I think it was 1-0 or 0-0 in the half. And then Matt Graval and his Raiders team started to find things and the holes in our defense. And Matt Graval was a big part of that A-Cup championship at Bantam. Now he wears the Giants uniform, and he's one that they're going to try to look to again. They were close on that one. Now LaFleur looks at 3rd down and long. I wonder if they're going to try to get it all in one or if they're going to be happy with something. He's going to do a little wide receiver screen that's going to go for a few, but he's wrapped up well by the Hornets defense and brought down after maybe a yard gain. So here we go. The Giants will bring out the punt team. Oliver Tetro, number 24, long snapper and linebacker for this Giants team. He snaps the ball, and that's nearly blocked, but a flag of roughing the kicker. The Giants will get the ball back. Chaori finding his way and just rumbling, refusing to go down. He's that big, long-bodied receiver with great hands. He's their star. But a roughing the kicker, I believe, is going to be the call. And the Giants will get the ball back. So if we go to that replay, ladies and gentlemen, we see that there's definitely contact with the punter, and that is the reason why the Giants will go back on offense. Back to live action. Score is 0-0, 3:27 left in the first quarter. Alex LaFleur's got a new set of downs here, and he's going to go to pass. It's going to be a shovel pass to the jet sweep. He's got some room, some good blocks, but another flag on the field. We'll see what that call is. The Hornets trying to strip the ball from him. But Reagan Wilson, a nice little run, but a flag in the backfield. I was personally hoping for a flag-free game, but so far it's been anything but that. Lots of undisciplined play by both of these teams, and if you think back to a few podcasts ago, I myself, Jesse, was talking about the Giants. Really, the greatest threat to this team this year is their own undisciplined play, whether that's chirping officials or the opponent, or like we just saw here, some holding calls. They need to clean those types of things up to be able to score points and keep the ball moving. So 1st and 15 now for LaFleur and the Giants. Again, out of the shotgun. Balanced formation. They're going to hand off to Baptiste. Some hard-earned yards. Maybe 2 on that carry. Wrapped up into the heart of that Hornets defense that really have held their opponents to very low scores the whole season. We talk about Paul Brulou playing halfback on the strong side for the Hornets. He is a very physical player. He's bumping out now to corner, actually, and number 8's replacing him at the halfback spot. That's Matthew Texeira Vieira. Here we go. 2nd and about 13. LaFleur goes to pass, feels some pressure, scrambles, he's going to trip up, and he's going to be brought down deep in the backfield. It's going to set up 3rd down and 25. They tried to block that up, but had some issues, and the pressure was in Alex's face pretty quickly. But that's what this Hornets defense is going to do to this offense, is even without sending heavy blitz, they are able to beat one-on-one and really get a lot of pressure on opponents' offenses, forcing them to make quick decisions, sometimes that will lead to interceptions for the defense. They've got a lot of them this year. LaFleur on third down, fires to his right, and nothing really there. Some confusion on the wide receiver. Looked like he was just kind of ran into his defender. He's entitled to his space, of course, so nothing there. But if we look at that replay of the sack, we'll try to see what happened here with some of that pressure off the left side of LaFleur. And you can see as he tries to scramble, he kind of loses his footing. This is a team that's accustomed to playing on ground. I don't know if that's part of the explanation there, but nonetheless, it'll be fourth down in a punting situation for the Giants. It's blocked, partially blocked, and then picked up by number 23. So really the first big change of field possession. That's number 23 for the Hornets, Bobby Andrew Potier, and he is one of the special kids on that team that will continuously make big plays for the Hornets. So now Hornets offense will come back out, and they'll have good field position. They'll be on the Giants side of the field, close to center of the field. And Regibald out of the shotgun comes out. They've got 3 receivers to the weak side and a 6-pack look. It's going to be a handoff on an end around to their guy, Traore. But that's contained pretty well by the Giants defense. And there we go, another flag comes up after the play. Some of the Giants defenders looking around like they can't understand what happened, but I'll tell you what happened. Somebody said something. That's Jared Wilkinson that I think was called, and that's going to be another costly penalty for this Giants team that just can't seem to get that part of their game under control. So that'll give the Hornets a first down from the 39-yard line. Regibald in the shotgun. Rolls to his left, stops and fires, and he's got an open man who's got the ball, and he looks like he's going to score. And it's a touchdown for the Hornets. Marc-Antoine Degelay getting an open spot there in the coverage and making the Giants pay. 6-0, the first score of the game. And really, I would say that was due to that undisciplined penalty that was taken. Regibald showing his ability to scramble. He's been doing it all season, and that is something that's been very difficult to contain. I'm sure the Giants have been watching film on him. They know what their MO is, but they're going to have to stop it. Regibald with the hold. Extra points good, and it's 7-0 for the Hornets. If we go back to that play, that touchdown toss, Regibald gets a throw off, even on his back shoulder. And they're able to get it done there. We watch that again. You see, they do bring pressure off the left of him. He has Oliver Tetro in his face. No late hit. That was a good decision, but still able to find his receiver, and his receiver outruns the whole defense there. Back to live action. Hornets are going to kick off to the Giants. As we reset the scoreboard. Seven-0 Sun Youth over the North Gloucester Giants. 14 seconds left in the first quarter, and the Hornets kick off. That's going to be number 3 of the Giants, returning that again. He spins out of a tackle and is finally wrapped up just past the 40-yard line. That's Darius McKenzie again on the return. He's getting a lot of the return work on this Giants team, as they also had Baptiste back there. But it's good to be able to use a couple different returners and give Baptiste some breaks, because he's the main bread carrier for the Giants offense. LaFleur comes back out to lead this offense. They've got Richard Graham at receiver, Matt Gravel we've talked about, and a pretty good big O-line that's capable, if they know their assignments, of keeping this Hornets pressure at bay. And Alex is going to need all the time that he can get. Alex out of the shotgun, hands off to Baptiste, who spins, but really nothing doing on that run play on first down for the Giants. That'll bring up 2nd and 10. And that's the end of the first quarter. They're going to change positions. We're going to go to quick break. When we get back, the start of the second quarter of your Midget Big Ten Conference action. We are back with live action. Alex LaFleur completes a pass to Matt Gravel off the left side. That looks like it's good for a first down, and I don't see any flags on the play. They're gonna need some quick action by this Giants offense and a few first downs just to get some momentum on their side here. But there's nobody better to do it than Alex LaFleur. He has led this Giants team, which started out a little rocky, I must say, but over the last 2 weeks, we've seen them really be able to come into their own. I think they're in the best position right now, today, and it just happened to be lining up with their second last game against an 8-0 team in the Sun Youth Hornets. Alex LaFleur, 3 receivers to the strong side. He throws backside, and it's behind his receiver running a slant. That was number 14, Keenan Medile, who's running the slant, and they're trying a quick hitter to get a 5 or 6 yards. Those slant passes are always good, because if you can complete them, there's a chance that the receiver can break the tackle for a lot more, and it's good to run some of that short game early on. 2nd and 10 for the Giants from Sun Youth's 51-yard line. Alex LaFleur, two running backs in the backfield. He's going to hand off, and that is sniffed out in the backfield by 2 Hornets defenders, number 44 leading that one. That's Liam Masley on the tackle, along with an assist by his counterpart. I didn't get a number on that. And we've got a big 3rd down. 3rd and 12 for the Giants. LaFleur in the gun. Play action, and throws an incomplete pass to his right. He was looking for Richard Graham, who's running kind of a little bit of a swing route to LaFleur's right. That went incomplete, as LaFleur was tackled as he was throwing, and he couldn't get his feet set, and a good pass off. That'll bring up 4th down in a punting situation again for the Giants. 2 returners back rather, for the Hornets. He's going to kick away from number 1. Number 10's got the return. He's going to take it the far side, cuts back up in, and is brought down by number 44 of the Giants. But that is Mendel Joseph returning for the Hornets. He's already returned a couple punts so far. Thank everyone for joining us on Facebook Live. and YouTube Live. We're streaming simultaneously to both platforms. YouTube is usually better if you want to put it on the big screen, but Facebook is definitely the most social platform. And the Hornets, procedure, they're going to lose 5 yards to start this series. We are live from Millennium Field, a pretty great day weather-wise for football. 9:28 left in the second quarter. Hornets are up 7-0 over the Giants. I'm going to tune in here while they deal with this penalty and have a look at the chat and the comments. Jason Miller, what's up, gents? Head coach Jimmy Fata watching after his win with the West Ottawa Knights. Reginbald over the middle. He completes to number 11 who had the touchdown earlier on, and he's going to scoot out near the Hornets bench. That's Marc-Antoine Deslaires. We saw him score the only touchdown for the Hornets early on. So far, he's emerging as one of the offensive weapons that the Giants will need to contain. Of course, number 1 is also another player that they're going to have to contend. That's Abdallah Traore, number 1 on the strong side wideout position. That run goes nowhere as the Giants defense wrap up. The Hornets running back in the backfield, they're going to lose a few, probably back to the original line of scrimmage, it looks like. And it'll set up a big third down early on for the Hornets. It's a beautiful day for football. The weather's cool but not cold. The rain's going to hold off, and it's overshadow dark clouds, but no rain in the forecast. Reginbald out of the gun. He opens up over the field. He's going to complete it again to number 11 over the middle. He's close to a first down, maybe a yard short. Deslaires with the completion. That's 4 completions on the day so far. Close to 70 yards of offense for that one receiver. And Reginbald continues to get his offense some yardage over the middle through the air. I've been very impressed with this number 5 for the Hornets. Obviously, just the ability to take his team so far to close to the end of the season. This is the second last game. They haven't lost. They've got one thing in mind, and you know that's the championship, Montreal Midget Championship, and also the Interprovincial Bowl. A lot of the players that are on this Hornets midget team came from that Bantam program and that development model, similar to what Nakafa has, and now those are really starting to pay off because this team is good. And I think that anyone that they're going to face in the championship, whether that's North Shore or anybody else, there's going to be some really good football games towards the end of the year. And it's going to be tough to defeat this team. But so far, the Giants really only down by 7 midway through the second quarter. And if anyone's got a good chance of handing them a loss, it's going to be this Giants team led on defense by a few players that everyone knows in Ottawa. Richard Graham wearing the number 1. Number 10 in the linebacker. He plays D end as well. Taylor Sherlock has been very disruptive, and Oliver Tetro, number 24, also a long snapper. These are players that can make big plays at any point in any game, and obviously they're reinforced by a good D-line. Number 42 of the Giants. Number 50 in the middle, Yori Jean-Baptiste. And their corner, number 7, Blaise Ninda, has been holding it down at the corner position. This is a very talented defense, and they're going to have to be at their best today. Going to jump back in while we wait here on the chat. Christian Nally, how you doing? Natalie Turnell, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining us. Go ahead and share the link in Facebook so that it's on your news feed, and we're sharing and promoting the game of football in the nation's capital. This is NCAFA football at its best. The new revamped midget Big Ten Conference. And we've got the 5th ranked North Gloucester Giants versus the number 1 ranked Sun Youth Hornets. 7-0. 7:13 left in the second quarter. Regibald's got a first down. He's the pivot for the Hornets. Abdallah down at the bottom of your screen. He's looking for him. And Regibald's going to take off, and he's just going to go down. He's tackled by, who else? Oliver Tetro and number 3, Darius McKenzie, who we've talked about returning the punt so far today for the Giants. That's going to set up 2nd and 9 yards for the Hornets. Looked like Regibald was looking to his left there, and Abdallah was running a corner on the weak side. Abdallah goes in for the Wildcat, and he runs a dive up the middle. It's going to bring up 3rd and 4. So they're capable of giving this defense a couple different looks to contend with. The Wildcat being one, they can pop in number 1 at quarterback, and also number 5, Regibald, he can catch the ball too. So look for maybe some of that Philadelphia magic here from this Hornets offense today. Like I've been saying all day, Giants are going to have to be on their best behavior. Can't take calls like they did in the first quarter that led to that first touchdown strike by the Hornets. Regibald fires to his right. He's got an open receiver. Number 6, I think probably is close, if not has the first down. That's Alexis Espanol with the first down. First and 10 for the Hornets. 8-0 on the season so far, up 7-0 with 5 minutes left in the half. He fires wide receiver screen up to number 10 on the strong side. And Joseph's got another, oh no, not a first down. It'll be about a 8-yard gain on that. Bring up 2nd and 2. And we might have a timeout here for the Giants. We're going to go to the comments here while we have this break. Warren Steves on the stream. How you doing? We're going to check YouTube here next. And we've got got some comments on YouTube. Quite a few people watching on YouTube right now. We've got Agabor. He says, I'm a Giants mosquito player watching the big boys here. Welcome to the stream. Let's go Hornets. David McLean watching probably from Montreal, the people that didn't fare the trip to Ottawa today. Number 68. So welcome everyone on YouTube. I'm Jesse Card, your host for this afternoon. There's a lot of NFL going on, but we're glad to have you with us here as we head back to live action after the Hornets timeout. They will have 2nd and 2 to close the midfield here, just on the Giants side of midfield. Quite a few people in the stands here today, as the weather's a good day for football. Well-coached Hornets team. It's going to be a handoff and a fumble, and that ball's loose. I think the Giants have it. That is a big turnover, and just what the Giants need. It is going to be a Giants turnover. And this is really something that this Giants team will need a little bit of luck from the football gods today. Let's go to the replay and see how that one unfolded. It was just not a clean exchange, and the Giants are going to have the ball. 1st and 10 near midfield. 7-0 Hornets. Alex Lafleur, the pivot for the Giants. Played at Franco Cite last year as a receiver, alternated as quarterback. He's a versatile kid, and I'll say it right now, I think he's the toughest kid in midget football right now. He's taken a pounding in previous games. He's come out. His competitive nature has been on display, and he's done a good job leading this team. He's looking to lead his offense to a score before half with 4 minutes left, down by 7. Another penalty in the backfield. As a coach, it's always difficult when you got a team that suffers from mental mistakes and penalties. It's a face mask in this case, and that's going to take them back 15 yards. That really, really puts them in a terrible position. Now it's 2nd down and 30-something yards here. Really just cannot happen at this point. They get the turnover on a bobbled exchange near midfield, and now they're back all the way to the 28-yard line. Lafleur out of the shotgun. Baptiste to his left. Lafleur fires over the middle to Gravel, and it's just over Gravel's head. They went to it early in the first quarter. Again, they were just over top, and Lafleur throwing a little high early in the game. We've got a few new crew members with us today on HESN. For those that don't know, I probably haven't done a great job explaining what the vision of HESN is, but number one, it was to bring a level of professional media coverage for youth sports. And I always thought, if we had this when I was a kid, where we want to celebrate these young athletes, want to keep them playing the sports that they love. We're mostly in football right now because we really only have one client, and that's NCAFA. We hope to maybe expand in the future. Lafleur out of the shotgun, empty backfield. He's going to go, and he does underthrow that one, but it's a great adjustment, and that's going to be close to a 1st down. Baptiste running a route there. He came back to the ball and made an unbelievable catch, really, for an underthrown ball that it was. We'll see if we can get a replay on that. We don't have a great replay of that. And it isn't a 1st down. It's a punt, and it's blocked and picked up by the Hornets. And the Hornets are going to have great field position to finish off the last 3 minutes of the half. That's another ill-advised play and a mistake that the Giants cannot afford in this big game. If we have a quick look at that replay, we can see it was actually one of his own blockers that kind of got in the way of the punt. But nonetheless, that's going to set up the Hornets in a great position to end off this half and potentially put more points on the board. And special teams really at this level are hard to get in. Every coach knows that they're kind of an afterthought a lot of the times. But I tell you, that play hurt them. And now with the 2 penalties, one penalty that led to the first touchdown, that was somebody saying something after the tackle. And then now another big face mask that puts them back and really eliminates a drive for them with 5 minutes left in the second quarter. And then a mistake on punt leads to 1st and 10. They're going to go to their number 1 receiver. He's got a touchdown. That's over top of number 25. The corner for the Giants. That's Tyrell Anderson on coverage, but they knew that they're going to go to Abdallah at some point, and they make the Giants pay on that one. Hornets line up for the extra point here. And they get it. Let's have a look at how that went down here. Rembold sees the one-on-one coverage. Safety kind of cheats down, and he places it perfectly in the awaiting arms of his receiver. So the Sun Youth Hornets systematically and methodically advancing this game and going up 14-0 over the Giants with a couple minutes left in the first half. And the story really has been, I think it can't be understated, that some mental mistakes and penalties have led to this advantage. This is a good enough team that you really can't give them any advantages. And shooting yourself in the foot with a face masking call, a few holds, and a objectionable conduct are not going to help the Giants' case. Hornets wait to kick off. LaFleur and company with 2:30 left in the second quarter. Giants return that one, but don't get much. That's Wilson again on the return. So if I'm the Giants here now, I think I'm just looking to maybe have a long drive, keep the ball out of the Hornets' nest, and give them the ball back on offense right now. If you can drum up a few first downs and at least get a little bit of momentum going into half, there is an opportunity to regroup, maybe get the energy back up, and maybe just have a few positive things happen here, because other than the first series, the offense is kind of stalled. Wilson on the weak side, the lone receiver. He's off the line. Two receivers up top and a tight end. That's Graham on tight end. And the pass by LaFleur to Hyacinth. Apologize for pronouncing that one. I definitely got that one wrong, but that was an incomplete pass. He was well covered, and the ball was jarred out of his hands. They're running Richard Graham at the tight end at the top of your screen there. Watch for him. He's a playmaker. He's got good hands, even though primarily a linebacker. Baptiste up the middle. They're going to try to just ground it up for a first down. They're maybe a yard or two short. And another flag in the backfield. Head referee Don Wilcox is talking to Matt Gravel. And I can't believe that this would be another penalty on the Giants for mouthing off. It is. Few of the Giants players walking back to the huddle with their hands up. Objectionable conduct on the Giants. Things are getting worse here. And they're going to be taken way back, where as opposed to being maybe a yard or two away from a first down, they're now set back third down and 14. Double tight end look, two receivers up top. Matt Gravel in the slot. LaFleur fires to his right, and behind the receiver, Wilson, that was running a hook. And number 11, if he had a little bit of more time, Desilaire, he might have had a chance to intercept that pass. He's already got a touchdown on the day, and closing in on 100 yards receiving, I'd say. But the Giants are going to give the ball back to the Hornets. And North Gloucester just looks like their energy's a little bit gone here. They get the punt off. It's going to bounce into the arms of Abdul. He gets about 15 yards before he's slung into the Giants' bench. And the Hornets take over with 2:06 left in the second quarter. Up by 14 over the Giants. And I think if you're the coaches or the fans and parents of the Giants, this is painful to watch because they started out pretty good. And really it's been penalties again that have led to some of the scoring chances that the Hornets have had. Defense is back on. Regibald looks to his left side. He's going deep to number 10, who's open over the coverage, and he's in for the score. Touchdown, Hornets. Mendel Joseph beats the Giants' coverage deep. And that is not what they wanted headed into the half. That was 86 on the coverage. It looked like it was a matchup that Regibald liked. And the placement of his passes today have been spot on. This is a dangerous player. And this is a dangerous offense. And just like that, penalties and some questionable coverage have led to a 20-0 lead for the Hornets heading into halftime. They're looking to convert on that last touchdown. Regibald with the hold, and the extra point's good. That is Wasim Abduzed with the extra point. He's taking the kicking duties for the Hornets today. As they march back to the huddle, just like that, I think the Giants are a little stunned. Minute 50 left. Giants will come back out on offense, and the last two drives for the Giants have started with a conduct penalty that have put them back 15 yards on first down. And I just don't know what the coaches say to this Giants team to get that under wraps, because that is undisciplined play. That can't happen if you're going to be a good team, and the talent on the Giants is there. It's just a matter of disciplined play. So Hornets are going to kick off again, and it's a big, deep kick over the head of the Giants returner, and he's going to take it. He's got some room. He does a good job of coming back to the ball and making something happen, but Darius McKenzie kind of misplayed that kickoff. Came up a little bit too shallow, and the ball came over his head. What that does is it kind of messes up the timing of the block or a wedge if they're setting that up on kickoff. It kind of throws everybody off. They have to look back, and then they lose the person that they have there. I'm going to change the scoreboard for you guys. My apologies. Jesse Card here with HESN Live presenting NCAFA football, Midget 10, big conference. LaFleur takes the ball himself on a quarterback draw, and he's going to slide his way up close to the first down. But they're down 21-0 late in the second quarter. And LaFleur's got his work cut out for him today. Like I was saying, I'm handling the call in the booth solo today. And we've got a technical producer, Steve, creative producer handling our crew here, and we've got 2 new shooters that have come to us. HESN, the vision for it has always been a social enterprise, providing not only the coverage of youth sports at a professional level, but also hiring youth that need a little support, need some new skills. And we've got 2 young camera ops that are helping us on the broadcast here today. HESN is a employment program, has always endeavored to make a contribution to our society and help some youth, whether they're from, per se disadvantaged upbringings, or if they're just people and kids that are interested in sports media. We want to hear from you. We want to give you opportunities, and of course, we're always looking for support from the community and the business community to keep us going and be able to. Lafleur, feeling the pressure, scrambles back to the line of scrimmage and takes a hit on the sideline right in front of the Hornets bench. And what you don't want is those Giants chirping the bench and getting another call. That can't happen at this point in the game. They're going to have to play a pretty perfect second half to get back in this game and potentially get a victory. They're 3-2 right now. A loss would make them 3-3. Hornets, of course, 8-0, and showing why here today. Lafleur in the shotgun. A quick pass that is hard to handle and goes incomplete. So it'll be 3rd down and 12, 59 seconds left in the half. Lafleur fakes the run, tosses it up, and it is deflected by number 44. We've mentioned his name lots. Liam Masley gets his hands up wisely, and that ball goes incomplete. And the Giants' offense really sputtering since the first drive, and the Hornets' defense starting to figure out what makes them tick. They've got their number right now. Giants back to punt. There's already been 1 blocked. This one will go to the sideline and hand the Hornets the ball back at about the 22-yard line with 49 seconds left. Let's go to the comments and the chat. And some people talking about that big Panthers Mosquito game where they saw the Eagles, number 1 ranked and number 2 ranked Mosquito teams, both undefeated and still undefeated because that game ended in a tie at 12-12. We had the coverage here from Millennium Field on Wednesday night. There was a great barbecue and a huge success for the league, I believe. And if we're going to jump into the comments on Facebook, got a few new people have joined us. Jim Cairns, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the live stream. David Andrew McLean talking about how some of these teams are from the Bantam Championship before. That's correct. So the Giants have to repunt, and they will. And that one goes out of bounds close to the 25-yard line this time. Want to give a shout out to the stick crew, who we actually delayed the game because we didn't have the sticks, but now they got it, and want to give a shout out to the guys doing the sticks. Few of the dad's players that are helping out with that. Oh, talking to Steve, and he thought I was talking about the band sticks, but no, I wasn't talking about Mr. Roboto. Regibald. Over the middle to number 11, who's got it right in front of the safety. That's more than enough for a first down. And they're looking for blood here in the water. They smell blood in the water. They're going to try to put up some more points and make a point heading into the playoffs. Reginbald in the hurry-up offense. He's got one tailback behind him to the left, three receivers up top. He's gonna scramble around. He's gonna tell his receiver to go, and he might have a good completion over there where his feet in. I think they're gonna give it to him. It's a completion, and that is what that is just a quarterback making something to happen. He directed with his hand the receiver to turn back up, and that's Abdallah, who already has one touchdown on a long bomb completion over top of the defense for the Giants. He's got another completion as he kind of toe taps his way for another Hornets first down. 22.9 seconds on the clock. Wilcox blows the play in. Reginbald in the shotgun, empty backfield. He's looking for the wide receiver screen. He's got it. He's wrapped up. Oh, he's body slammed by number 3, and that draws a flag. So a lot of chirping going on. 3 flags down on the field as Darius McKenzie was trying to bring his receiver down to the ground and maybe did it with a little bit too much gumption. He draws a flag with a body slam. See if we can get a replay on that for you guys. As the refs sort that out, we're going to go to the replay and see if we can see what they thought was a little bit too much of an aggressive tackle here. McKenzie wraps him up and then throws him to the ground. The refs are going to take exception to that. And that's going to tack on a few more yards and pin the Giants deep on the 6-yard line for 15 seconds left of offensive ability of the Hornets. Reginbald, there's no question he's going for the kill. And I'd be looking at that fade as a kind of narrow positioned receiver, number 1 at the top of your screen. 3 receivers down to the bottom of the screen. Reginbald looks to his left, scrambles. He's going to run for it, I think. And he gets around the corner, and he's just in for a touchdown. No flags on the field. And a very creative quarterback play by Reginbald. As you can see him celebrating with his team. He felt some pressure there, decided he's got the wheels. He can do it on his own. And that's exactly what he does. For the 4th score for the Hornets today. They're lining up for the extra point here. And the kick by Wissam makes it 28-0 for the Hornets as 7.9 seconds remain on the clock. Let's go back to the touchdown run by the quarterback. Reginbald feels a little pressure to his right, scrambles and sees wide open space, pump fakes. The defender takes a bad angle, and he is just going to scamper in to the end zone untouched. Back to live action. I think the Giants a little shocked here by what has unfolded. They came in with high hopes and great expectations, and so far the Hornets have really been unstoppable. The first touchdown was scored by Desiers with a completion over the middle that he turned up and ran. And then the next 2 touchdowns were big touchdown throws, 45 yards plus, that the receivers got in behind the coverage. And the last touchdown, of course, was run in by the quarterback himself, number 5, Reginbald. That's going to do it for the half. Score is 28-0 for the Sun Youth Hornets. I'm Jesse Card with the call, going solo today on the broadcast. We're going to go and take a short break, and when we get back, we're going to see what will happen if the Sun Youth Hornets will keep putting the gas pedal down and scoring more points, or if the Giants can muster something up. We'll be back soon. I'm Jesse Card with HESN Live.
We know there's a ton of talent in the city of Ottawa, and we don't feel that it gets its due.
Football really, it's a microcosm of life in a lot of regards.
That drive that you talk about that a lot of athletes have, that's applicable to all aspects of life.
If we could reach 8 out of 10 kids as opposed to just maybe 2 or 3 finding it on their own, then I think we're doing a good thing. And maybe more kids will go on to finding some other opportunities, and will gain some additional self-esteem along the way. And in some kids' lives, that can mean all the difference.
And number 89, Jesse Card.
I'm from Ottawa. I grew up playing football in the National Capital Amateur Football Association for the Bell Warriors. And now I own House Edge Media and the House Edge Sports Network. NCAFA holds a really special place in my heart because it's the community that I grew up with. Spending 8 to 10 years playing football in NCAFA, it provided me an outlet outside of school, and it helped give me an identity that I was a football player.
Let's see your tackle or your pass.
Between the L's and the S. As Calvillo tries to go to work in the air, Woodcock's got it! And look out! Pat Woodcock could go! Only Malcolm Frank, he's not going to get there!
I started playing Canada Knights when I was 8 years old. I say all the time it was a crucial aspect of my football career, because I just think about what possibilities might have been had I had a negative experience early on, right? And I was really fortunate to have some really great coaches and men that made a positive impact on my life at a young age. It taught me the game of football and taught me to love it, and it led on to some great things.
The longest pass reception in Grey Cup history, 99 yards to Pat Woodcock, a former ball boy for the Ottawa Rough Riders.
I think football, because I seem to be good at it, it provided this place outside of school and outside of my family that I could go to, and it provided a lot of self-esteem, being good at something early in your life. So ever since this first practice here at Linwood Park, I was on this mission to be the best football player that I could be. It gave me the opportunity to go on and get a degree in university, and then eventually go on and get a master's in university. And what drives me now, after all these years coming back, is that we do have this this amazing infrastructure in place with one of the largest football organizations in all of Canada.
I had always said if I was to make it as a professional athlete, a goal would always be to play for the hometown team.
Big tackle there, 2nd and 6. Kennedy, play action. Here come the Bombers. Lets it go. Woodcock with the reception.
It was a special opportunity for me to be able to come back and play in front of the people who had supported me so much through my NCAFA years and through my university years. And also special to be able to give back to the community that gave so much to me, and just try to present to people what football can really mean beyond wins and losses and statistics and that kind of stuff, and that it develops young men and can provide them with a lot of valuable lessons that go far beyond the football field.
Knowing what this sport did for me, I don't think there's anything more important in my life than to be able to take those lessons and then give that back to the next generation, making it easier for them and accelerating their growth and their success. I don't think it stops at the end of practice or at the end of a game. I think that contact with the kids and opportunities that are available for them should span 12 months of the year, around the year, and sometimes that's as simple as providing them information about how other athletes and students have done it themselves and have been successful.
When it comes to a university, specifically an NCAA university or a CIS university, recruiting a student athlete, it goes much beyond what your game film shows, it goes much beyond what your 40 time is. You know, one of the first things they're going to ask about is your grades. Are you dependable? Can we count on you? Are you, do you do what you say you're going to do?
What I've noticed about, growing up, moving away from Ottawa and then deciding to come back and live here is that sports have defined my life, and now having a pro football team in the Red Blacks, being able to walk to the game down the streets, now we have that again in Ottawa, and there's so much pride for the people that are interested in the game of football here in Ottawa.
We know there's a ton of talent in the city of Ottawa, in football, but in a wide variety of sports, and we don't feel that it gets its due. And I think part of that is just because some of the athletes are not being presented the right information and not having the opportunity to really maximize their potential.
The true important thing out of this game is helping other kids find that level of passion and commitment in something in their life, and it may lead to a CFL career for them, or it may not, but they're gonna get something really valuable out of the experience. I'm excited for the future of this game in this country, and I'm honored to be a part of that development. And we're just getting started.
The House Edge Sports Network welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Capital Amateur Football Association.
There comes a moment when every man must declare their allegiance. Every player must choose a team. Must choose what they stand for. September, finish where you started. Finish NCAFA Midget.
Inside bound, and it is a touchdown.
All games filmed. Team huddle accounts. Top-level coaching. University exposure. Game of the Week live broadcast.
What an interception! Tremendous play. Dropping back from Keegan.
It's a foot race. And there he goes. Touchdown!
In the end zone. It is caught for the win.
Has some time. Deep shot for Parker. Touchdown!
And we are back live. I'm Jesse Card, your host at HESN Live. We've got a NCAFA special presentation of Midget Big Ten Conference action. Second half just on your way. We're going to take you field side for the kickoff of the third quarter. It's a short one, and the Giants seem to have it, but I don't think it went 10 yards. He's still going, but all for naught, I believe, as Jared Wilkinson does his best, but I don't believe that ball went 10 yards. So it'll either have to be a re-kick. I believe that's what will happen here. Welcome back to the special presentation of NCAFA football. The Giants versus the Sun Youth Hornets. 28-0 Sun Youth over the Giants. And really the first half was all about two things. Outstanding quarterback play by number 5, Regibald of the Sun Youth, and bad penalties by the Giants, offense and defense, I'd say. There was a face mask. There was a few choice words that the referees heard after the play, and really put the Giants behind the 8 ball early, and they haven't been able to recover from the tailspin. On the other hand, Number 11 on the offense for the Sun Youth Hornets has been a star. Number 1 has scored a big touchdown. And number 5 really has been the MVP of this game. And here he goes again with the ball. The O-line, big O-line for the Hornets. And they're going to run behind him on this one as number 20 gets a few yards and a flag again comes down. That's number 20, a younger player, Heldon Massignon, a younger player. He's taking the reps as running back now in the second half. And we'll see what the refs sort out with this call and what this will be. Once again, score 28-0 for Sun Youth Hornets. This one's going to be on the Hornets, though. The Hornets definitely have been the better disciplined team here. So first and a long way to go for the Hornets. But as we saw in the first half, this is a quick strike offense. And they go play action. Regibald sets up a screen to who else? Number 11. And he is gang tackled maybe 3 yards past the line of scrimmage. That's number 11, Marc-Antoine Deslures. Can you tell that I don't speak French very well? I bet you can. But that's okay. I'm here. I'm Jesse Card. I'm taking you guys through this afternoon of some local Ottawa NCAFA football. This is the 16, 17, and 18-year-olds in the city playing in the City League. Regibald for Sun Youth rolls to his right and lets ones go. He's looking for his number 1 receiver, but it's just out of bounds, and that'll bring up third down. Abdallah Traore is an absolute star this year for the Sun Youth Hornets. He's moved up to the Midget League, and he is getting a lot of attention from the RSAQ university programs. Any one of them and OUA teams would be lucky to have this kid on their roster at some point. And Regibald gets a quick snap, wasn't ready for it, but he lets one go, and he just throws it away. Another flag in the backfield, though, as 3 Giants walk through the O-lines, and you wonder what this is going to be here. Lots of penalties in this matchup this afternoon. For those of just joining us online, you can do your part to help promote football. We need this on everyone's news feed. So what you can do is go to the little button underneath the video player, click share, and put it on your own personal profile. Maybe add a couple words like great game or this or that, watching football today, and that will help promote the game by getting digitally everywhere on Facebook and YouTube. Hornets back to punt. That's Abdul who punts it. It's going to bounce a few times and just out of bounds at about the 26-yard line for the Giants. We've heard nothing but good things with this year. Last year was the first time the Interprovincial Bowl was ever created. Gowan Harding, the president of the Gatineau Vikings, who has had the Vikings compete in the Bantam Football League in Montreal. He has a lot of connections to the Montreal leagues. He was instrumental in setting up this interlocking system. Last year we had the Interprovincial Bowl, and we will again this year, but we also have this interlock regular season play, and this is one of the last matchups before the playoffs start. And we get to see this high-powered 8-0 Sun Youth team, and they haven't disappointed. They've scored, they've contained the Giants' offense, and they've continuously put pressure on Alex Lafleur, a quarterback for the Giants, and really haven't given him a whole lot of time to make any decisions. He's thrown a few balls that were a little overthrown, a couple a little underthrown, and that would be common for any quarterback under the duress that he's experienced today. They had some success early on with Baptiste running the ball, but now they're down and they've gone to the air more. They're going to run on this one, and Baptiste bounces it outside. He's got a few good blocks. It'll be enough for a first down, and that's what the Giants want to do here. They just want to not panic, not start throwing up interceptions. They want to get back to this ground game with Baptiste, and maybe they might have to pull out a few of their trick plays out of the tickle trunk here today to get anything going. 28-0 for the Hornets. 8 minutes left in the third quarter. There's still lots of time, but they're going to have to score a lot of points to get back into this game. 4 touchdowns to be exact. Baptiste on the ground again. Hornets trying to strip them of the ball. Number 99 in there leading the cavalry for the Hornets. That's Brandy Membe on the defensive line. He's playing end. Number 42, number 92, number 44 on the D-line. Liam Maisley, we've talked about. He's the right end there. And Alex Lafleur is going to keep it himself, and he's got enough for a first down and more. He brings it up to center field on a quarterback. He calls his own number on a quarterback draw. And sometimes that play action can get those linebackers to fall back into coverage, and it creates a big void in the middle of the field there. And Alex Lafleur took advantage of it, and he rips off about 14 yards and a new first down for the Giants. So far to start the third quarter, the Giants have done a good job on offense here. Receiver on a quick shovel, and that is wrapped up by number 92 immediately. Zachary Caesar on the tackle for the Hornets. And the thing I've been most impressed about watching this Hornets team is just how well balanced they are. On defense, they haven't taken any penalties. They've stayed in their lanes and they've executed their responsibilities. And other than just missing Graval early in the first quarter on a long seam pattern, they've been able to keep the coverage under wraps here. Lafleur out of the shotgun. He fires to his left. He's got Richard Graham, and Graham doesn't get anything on that. He really, 0 yards gain. That's going to bring up third down. Actually, you know, he might have gotten, I think he got back to the original line of scrimmage. But that'll set up a very critical third down for this Giants team early in the second half. William Montpetit back at safety for the Hornets, surveying the field. And of course, number 9 playing middle linebacker was Sim. He's spying that quarterback who can be dangerous. They're looking for a short pass to Graham. He's got it. And they really can leverage his big, tall body because he can get in there. Wissam is not a very tall middle linebacker. He's maybe 5'9" or 10, and Graham, I think, well past 6 foot, maybe 6'2", just kind of posts up on him like a basketball player would, and Lafleur throws it high to him, and it brings up 4th and 3. They're going to go for it. They keep the offense on the field. Baptiste in the backfield. He's going to come up and block for Lafleur. Lafleur scrambles to his left and dives for the first down. It's going to be real close. I don't know if he's got it. They might have to measure that one to get the call right. Wilcox got the ball. Waiting for the call, and Lafleur's down. Let's have a look at that replay real quick while Lafleur gets looked after on the near the Hornet sideline. So right away he's looking to run. He gets a good block off the left side by Graham, who's had a couple completions on this drive, and number 4 just makes a great shoelace tackle to stumble Lafleur, and as you can see, he just kind of dives forward, hoping to place the ball above the first down marker. And we'll find out shortly if he did get it. But you got to hope that Alex is okay, because really he's been really the only reason here for the Giants offense that, you know, they're still hanging around. And it would be a big blow if they lost him. They haven't been able to stretch the defense deep. They've tried a couple times with Matt Gravel, but they haven't really been able to consistently threaten the Hornets defense in any significant way. They've been working on that play action. The run game, I think, is consistent, and they need to stick with it, but with not much time left in the third quarter, 4 minutes and 15 seconds to be exact, they're going to have to put up 4 touchdowns here. If that's to say if the Hornets don't score anything here, that's the only way they're going to get back into this game. And I wonder if right now as a coaching staff you're thinking for the Giants that maybe, you know, maybe the win is out of reach here, would you say? I know no coach thinks that way, but at the end of the day, they need to fix their discipline as this team. The Norsemen, if we go back to the power rankings here, the Sun Youth Hornets, of course, number 1. West Ottawa Knights are undefeated also, and they will have the number 1 seed heading into the Ottawa Midget playoffs. And then the St. Leonard Cougars at number 3, North Shore at 4. And you know that North Shore team can win at any moment. They're going to be very competitive like they always are in the postseason. And the Giants at number 5. But Bel Air Norsemen really equal with the Giants. When the Tornadoes ran through Ottawa, we know that game was canceled, and we didn't get to see their matchup. This Norseman team by no means is out of the equation. And it's going to be a real exciting playoff run for these Ottawa teams. Myers probably out of reach of making the postseason, but these Giants are going to need to fix their discipline and stop taking these penalties. We see Baptiste taking the quarterback duties and running a wildcat. He runs up for a hard-earned 2 yards, but Alex Lafleur not in the game, and that is a big blow to this Giants team, having him out of there. He's a competitive kid, and I said earlier in the telecast that I think he's the toughest kid in the midget conference, the Big Ten conference, and his competitive play is definitely part of the spark to this whole Giants team, and without him in there, they definitely take a step back without his leadership. 2nd and 6, Baptiste hands it off, and that's going to be maybe 2 or 3 yards by Wilson. It's Rojan Wilson, who came off the side on kind of a jet zoom motion from the slot back position, took the handoff from Baptiste. They've got 3rd and 5 coming up. Eric Baptiste playing quarterback now for the injured Alex Lafleur. They better get the call off. They're going to get penalized for a delay of game. The Wildcat, there's some confusion, and Baptiste is just swallowed up by the Hornets defense. And Wilson ought to be careful to not get a penalty there as he kind of blocks his man to the ground and suffocates him there for a bit. But we talked about Alex Lafleur in the passing game. What looked so good against the Eagles last week, midweek, I think Thursday night game at Bob Stevens Field. And now he is on the sideline being looked after by the training staff. The punt by the Giants is returned by number 10, who is tackled hard down by the 30-yard line. That's Mendel Joseph again, who's been a standout here for the Hornets today. He's going to give the ball back to that formidable quarterback, number 5. Reginbald. And if we look at some of the players on O-line for the Sun Youth Hornets, it's led by number 50, the center, Damlin Chu, and 56, who's playing tackle. Reginbald scrambles in the middle, finds an open receiver to his right side, and he is tackled, but not before getting the first down. That's Espinal on the reception, number 6 for the Hornets. That's his 2nd completion on the afternoon. So it'll be first down again, a minute left in the 3rd quarter. It's a play action, and the ball thrown behind his receiver, number 11, Marc-Antoine, and that goes incomplete. They like running that play action out of the shotgun because it freezes any defender that's coming in hard, and what it does is it makes that defender decide if he's going to stick with the running back or he's going to hedge his bets and try to defend the run by number 5, who we've seen can run the ball really effectively by himself and scramble and make plays. They're going to hand it off on this 2nd down, and that's going to get about 2 yards. But, of course, this is really like a triple threat quarterback, Reginbald, and very difficult, as we know, to defend because they've gotten beat deep twice. He's run one in for himself, and he's also scrambled and found an open receiver in the middle for the first touchdown. That was Marc-Antoine, who scored the first touchdown and got the Hornets on the board for the first time. Reginbald feeling some pressure. He's going to be sacked. So the pressure this time gets to him, and he's hit square in the back by number 3, Darius McKenzie. And McKenzie has been a multi-purpose player. He's one of the shining stars here today for the Giants. And that play, that quarterback sack, finishes out the third quarter. We're headed into the fourth quarter, and the Giants are without their starting quarterback, which is difficult for any team. And coupled with the penalties that the Giants have taken today, and it kind of shot themselves in the foot. If we see, look at the birds here today, the geese. This is a very difficult situation the Giants are in, and certainly not what they were looking for heading into the playoffs. That said, we've got a quarter left. If we go back to the replay and we see he just tucks the ball down and then he is hit hard. Back to live action. The Hornets are going to punt. They get a big one off, and that's to Darius McKenzie, who's on the return. He shakes a few tackles, and he's hit hard and brought down by a couple Hornets defenders. And it looks like maybe one of them's shaken up a little bit. That's number 15. William Monpetit, who we mentioned a few times, he gets up and he's kind of limping around, but he seems to be okay. So we'll go to the chat real quick and see if anyone's saying anything. David McLean says Sun Youth plays hard and trains hard. Well, that's definitely what it appears to be, because they are handling this Giants team pretty well today. Lil Trippy says after this game, Sun Youth Midget will be 9-0. It's a good chance. We're back to live action here. 28-0 Sun Youth. The start of the fourth quarter, and Alex Lafleur has returned as quarterback for the Giants. He hands off to Eric Baptiste, who is caught in the backfield and slung to the ground by number 92 on that D-line for the Sun Youth Hornets. That's Zachary Cesar, and he's been a star today. He's tracked down Baptiste several times, probably 5 tackles on the day, although we don't have the official stat. I'm going to go out on a limb on some of the yardage and reception counts here today. And I don't know what the problem with Lafleur was, but he seems to have overcome that injury. And he's hand off to Baptiste again. He seemed like he had a little bit of a hole on the left side, but nonetheless he chooses one between the tackles, and he's got a first down or close to it. But the Giants haven't been able to put really any sort of a passing attack together in any meaningful way, and they're not going to be able to run their way back into this game as far as the scoreboard goes. They hand off to Baptiste again, and he scrambles, but now he's reverse field, and he's going to end up losing maybe 25 yards on that run. That's another thing that he has to just learn to give up on the play. These defenders are just too good, and this is an 8-0 football team. They're going to come, they're going to rally, they're going to gang tackle you. And on that one, Baptiste doesn't help his team out at all with that run. Try to get a replay of that when we get our first chance. So 2nd and 17, I believe. Lafleur looks to pass. He fires to his right. He's got an open receiver in Matt Gravel, and a completion that gets them a yard short of the original line of scrimmage after that Baptiste. Bad decision to try to reverse field, and he lost a chunk of yardage for his team. But nonetheless, they get it back with that completion, and another very critical third down here in the fourth quarter for the Giants. Lafleur tapping his helmet, signaling to Gravel. I wonder if they're going over to the top here on this one. Gravel running the out. Lafleur decides to take it himself and spins his way to a first down. He was lucky he wasn't hit hard, opening himself up, and a flag as the guys get up off the ground. There's another flag here, and Don Wilcox not playing around at all. If we go back to that replay of the run by Baptiste, we'll see what happened here. He took the handoff, was kind of bouncing in the hole, trying to find something, then he kind of reverses out, and we've seen him do this successfully on some of the weaker teams, but it's not going to happen on this Hornets team. And like we said, a few mental issues that the Giants need to clean up if they're going to have any success in the postseason. The Hornets, on the other hand, have one more game in the regular season. They will play Greenfield Park Packers, who I believe are winless this season, and statistically, one would say that if Sun Youth can defeat the Giants here today, they'll go on a perfect undefeated season and enter the MIDGET Quebec playoffs in the first division as the #1 seed. And they will be facing, I don't know if we know who they'll be facing at this point with 1 week left in the regular season. But right now it's looking good for the guest Hornets as they travel to Ottawa on this Thanksgiving Sunday. Hope everyone is having a great weekend so far. NFL football is happening right now. I haven't been able to check on the games and the scores, but the Red Blacks, of course, losing a heartbreaker that went to overtime against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. They lose that one. Right now, we've got NCAFA football, midget. Lafleur in the shotgun, steps up and is going to throw back to his right, and Gravel gets the completion. Only a couple yards, but a little bit of playmaking there by the Giants pivot, number 12, Alex Lafleur. So this brings up a 2nd and 4. And if they're going to run Baptiste, they've got to make sure that he's wise with his decisions. Right now, Baptiste isn't out there. Instead, it's number 5. They give him the handoff. He stiff arms the defender, and he's taken low by number 10 on a great tackle. And a little bit of words there. They got to be careful not to draw another penalty, but a good hit. We have a quick look at that one again, and that impressive hit. That's Rojan Wilson that takes the ball and is hit hard by the Hornets defender. Mendel Joseph, we talked about him a lot today, and we've talked about how aggressive those corners and halfbacks are for the Hornets. This time, Alex Lafleur is in trouble. He's pursued by number 59 on his back. Wisely, they don't hit him after he releases the ball, because that would have no doubt been a penalty, but nobody's open, and that ball goes incomplete. With 6 minutes left so far, the Hornets have held the Giants to a scoreless game, and they're up 28-0 over the Giants. We talked to the coaches and players of the North Gloucester program. They're very confident heading into this game. They watched a lot of film. They thought they would be able to contain Reginbald, the quarterback, a little bit better than they have. And heading into halftime, they were just shocked. Richard Graham has a completion over the middle, but it's not enough for the first down. It's going to set up 4th and about 9 yards. And I think at this point, the Giants got to keep the offense out there. With only 5 minutes, 24 seconds left, they've got to at least keep their pride and build some momentum into heading into the playoffs. They still have to face the Norsemen, and that's going to be no easy feat. And, nearly, well defended. I wouldn't say nearly intercepted, but very well defended by number 11, Marc-Antoine Desileux. And he really ran the route for the receiver, we say, as a defensive back. The idea is to attack the ball at the reception point. That's what he did there. And that's going to turn the ball over. So these Hornets have been impressive on all fronts, special teams, offense, and especially defense, like we saw on that play. We have a quick look at the replay. Lafleur looks to his left, turns to his right, and throws that post, but Marc-Antoine is there for it. Back to live action. Marc-Antoine. No, sorry, that's Mendel Joseph, my mistake. On the first down play for the Hornets. We are live at Millennium Field on a perfect weather day for a football game. 4 minutes left in this matchup between the Sun Youth Hornets, 8-0 on the season, looking to make it 9-0. They hand it off into the heart of the Giants defense, and that's number 42 coming down with the solo tackle, Jared Wilkinson, who's been a staple on that Giants defense all season. I sound like a broken record, but really the story today was undisciplined play by the Giants team, taking unnecessary penalties and giving the Hornets a lot of advantages on that play. On that second down play, they get the pressure and the pocket collapse on Regibald, and they get the fourth sack on the day. They have been able to get to him at times, but really, the times that they haven't, Regibald's made them pay. We saw 3 touchdowns on the day passing for number 5. 1 to number 1, 1 to number 11. And he ran one in himself. They set up the screen to number 20, and he kind of takes a couple seconds to figure out if he's going in or out of that cut. He decides to take it out, and he gets a few on the play. I don't think it's going to be enough for a first down. It'll bring up 4th down, and I think the Hornets are just going to choose to punt here. 3-minute warning goes. Don Wilcox blows the whistle in. 2:45 and counting left in this interprovincial interlock game between North Gloucester and Sun Youth. So Abdullah back to punt. They almost get in there. That was Tetro that snuck through his blocks. Almost got to the kicking point of the punter, Abdul, but he does get it off. It might have been even deflected a little, but nonetheless it goes out of harm's way, out of bounds. And another penalty on the Giants. So if we talk about why this Sun Youth team has been so good, you've got to give a lot of credit to this coaching staff, who I had a chance to talk to Demetria before the game, who's the head coach there you see on the left. And he's really just a really nice guy, I thought. I got a good vibe off of him right away. A lot of times football coaches can be kind of egotistical, and we all know that. But, you know, these guys are nothing but class. And you can tell that the players have kind of taken that identity on of the coaches, and they haven't had nearly as many penalties or undisciplined play as the Giants have today, and they continue to advance the ball. There is a flag down, speaking of that, here, but they complete the pass. That was Abdullah Traore, who completes his pass to number 10, Mendel Joseph. And the penalties declined and it's going to be a first down again. So they fake the punt, they convert, and now they've got a fresh set of downs with 2 minutes left in the game. Are they going to back off? Or are they going to keep going for more? 2 minutes left will tell us. But the Giants frustrated. They're bringing 2 players on late, and they've got to be disappointed in their performance here today. They've only got, I believe, 1 game left in the season to try to correct some of these things, but they've got the game to finish here today before they look forward to correct some of the things they did wrong today. Reginbald hands off on a counter out of the gun to number 20, and he doesn't go for very much. That is Massenat on the carry. Lots of weapons, and if we go back to what makes this Hornets team so successful this season, I said you have to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff. They've got, I can count 7 to 10 coaches on their sideline. They're all organized and very, very well. They understand the game, and they know what they need to do for this team. There's a little bit of confusion there, and the whistle blows the play dead. Don Wilcox leading the referee today, and they've got a good coaching staff. Jeff Morris out there too, who also was coaching for the Pee Wee Nepean Eagles yesterday with their win over the West Carleton Wolverines. We'll have highlights for that this week, along with a podcast, and we'll drop a little hint. We got 2 special guests this week on the podcast, which I think we're probably going to play tomorrow and go live with it tomorrow. Damon Allen is going to join us on the podcast, talk about non-contact football. It doesn't need much of an introduction. All-time leading quarterback in all of football, NFL included. Damon Allen's going to be joining us along with Anthony Cannon of the formerly Detroit Lions on the podcast this week as we talk about NCAFA moving into the non-contact space more this offseason and building on that success over the last few years that Rodney Moores has been able to put together with the Girls Touch Football League. We're going to be expanding upon that this year. But right now we've got NCAFA football. We've got midget interlock game, 28-0 Sun Youth over the North Gloucester Giants. Only 35 seconds left in the game. Reginbald letting that clock tick down. He's going to toss right to his running back, who gets a few yards and a nice hard run, runs over a defender. But now a late hit and some extracurricular activity here as they're starting to go at each other a little bit. Their refs are going to try to break that up, but definitely frustrations boiling over here, and they're going to have to just separate those guys. They're going to have to separate them. We don't like to see this at all. We have to get them separated because this game needs to get over with. Lots of, angry players, because really the frustration is palpable for the North Gloucester Giants. They really thought they had turned their season around and tried to, perform so well against the Nepean Eagles. But they're trying to separate the 2 teams. These are, 16, 17, and 18-year-old athletes, and some of the best athletes in Ottawa playing the great game of football. Tempers are going to boil over. They're going to flare at times. The important thing is that they learn from their mistakes and they get back focused on the game. They're going to make the playoffs, this Giants are. So you have to think, now the challenge for this team is to get focused on their next opponent, which will be the the Ballard Norsemen, who have struggled a little bit. And it's a critical point in the season for this Giants team as they need to focus back on their next opponent. They need to clean up some of the mistakes that they've made, and they need to figure out how to not draw penalties and shoot themselves in the foot But the Sun Youth Hornets on the other side are going to try to just get out of here with the W. There's only 20 seconds left. They're going to try to just maybe kneel this ball out. There was a penalty to finish up that last run by Massonette, who had the toss there. He was thrown a little bit out of bounds and onto the dirt track that surrounds the Millennium Field here in Cumberland. And then that kind of spurred up the whole incident there. But the referees did a great job of controlling that, getting that under control. And the coaches separated the young kids, and they're going to get back out there to finish the game. The referees are just discussing if, maybe they end it as it is, or if they're going to put them back out there. Obviously, if you put the players back out there, there's a chance that, there could be another flare-up. And the Sun Youth are celebrating a little bit over there, not in a disrespectful way, but they've got to make sure that they do their job to keep everything under control as well, because they're going to Greenfield Park, which should be an easy win. That might be an opportunity to rest some of the starters next week and get focused, start watching film on their next opponents, because they've still got North Shore to deal with at some point in the playoffs for the Quebec League. The interesting storyline to maybe look at too is will Orleans, as the #1 ranked QMFL Midget Conference team, jump up, and who will they play? Will they have to play this Sun Youth team as the last seed? And if so, that'll be a tall order. They're going to finish the game up. And I think that's a wise choice. Just no need to stir the pot at this point. So that's going to be it for the game, ladies and gentlemen. They end the game premature of 20 seconds and a 28-0 victory for the Sun Youth Hornets. They looked polished, they look good, and they are set for their matchup to go potentially 10-0. They're 9-0 right now. They're looking to go 10-0 against Greenfield Park next weekend before they head as the #1 seed in the Quebec Midget Football Playoffs. On this side of the border in Ontario, the West Ottawa Knights are #1 ranked undefeated team. They, I believe, will play Myers one more time before they head as the #1 seed into the playoffs. HESN is going to have your coverage as NCAFA heads into the playoffs, all obviously accumulating and culminating as the championship in the first week of November. I believe the C-Cups will go in the week on the Wednesday, Thursday night, followed by the Friday night. I think there's a Red Blacks game, and then Saturday you will see your B-Cup champion games, and the evening will be the Midget Championship. So that's where we get to see who it will advance all the way. Will it be the West Ottawa Knights, or will they be upset potentially by the Bel Air Norsemen, or the Nepean Eagles, or the North Gloucester Giants? We just don't know. We're going to have to wait before we see that. On behalf of the whole HESN crew that gave up a little bit of their turkey time to come out tonight, I want to thank Steve Johnson, technical and creative production, Ama on camera, and Badu. And for me, going solo on the broadcasting, the graphics, and some of the scoreboards, and trying my damnedest to read some of these names properly, I'm Jesse Card. Thanks for following us. Do me a favor, like the HESN page, like the NCAFA page, and follow us. You can visit hesn.co if you want to learn more about our company and our social enterprise. That's it for us, folks. I'm Jesse Card. Good night and God bless. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.